Welcome back. In the last lecture, we saw first of the scientific approach with respect to theory of political science, with respect to theory of international relations. In this lecture, we'll try to understand preferential behavioral theories, the second scientific approach or decision-making approach. Right? What do you study in this approach? You basically study the decisions of the actors, how actors act and react, how actors react in a particular situation. This is the agenda of this lecture, right? You put a particular actor with a particular power to him, with a particular power level to him. You put an actor in a particular game. In that game, how that actor performs and what decision that actor takes, it is preferential behavioral theories or decision making approach. Which decision you make, what decision is preferred when you are put into a particular situation, right? In that situation you will take into account your power level. In that situation you will take into account others power level. You will take into account the environment around you, the people who back you, people who are against you, what are your goals, what are your objectives, and figuring out all that, taking into account all that, you will take and you will prefer to take a particular decision. That is decision making approach. It is the study of decisions, right? Preferential behavioral theories or decision making approach, it is study of decisions. In this approach, in these theories, foreign policies, foreign policy is visualized as decision making. What is decision making? What is decision making? It is to do, right? It is not reacting, it is acting. It is not firefighting, it is creating fire and taking the best out of that situation, right? It is taking the best out of the situation, right? It is not just responding to problems, it is not just reacting to problems, but creating problems. If you have played game of PUBG or any FPS, person shooter game, if you have played any first person shooter game, let's say PUBG, or even if you have played FIFA, any game on PS where there are multiple players, right? There are multiple players. What you do when you play a game like PUBG, there are 70 to 80 players in lobby. You start playing game. You actively look for people to shoot at. When two different teams are fighting, you try to attack them both at the at the same time. What you are basically trying to do is creating problem for others, and you are trying to win the game by creating problem for others. You are taking such decisions which will help you to win, right? There is this very good concept that exists in PUBG: third party. Two parties which are fighting, you just go and go all guns blazing on both of the parties and you win that game, right? There is 90% of the chance that when two different people are fighting, you just take advantage of that situation. You will get kills, you will get weapons, you will be in a better situation. Two people fighting, you just go kill them both because they are actually half dead by fighting each other. You take advantage of the situation and you get best out of the situation, right? You act, and suppose you are the party who is fighting with the other party, and some other party attacks you, what do? You flee. You don't stay there, right? So it is acting to a particular situation. It is it is decision making and having alternative plans A, B, C, D, right? You start in the game of UPSC, you think I will clear UPSC in my first attempt, I will get under 50 rank and life will be easy. You realize that that is a far distance dream. It takes a lot of efforts to do that, right? It takes a lot of luck to that for that to happen, right? Then you suddenly realize I have to do this, I have to do that. You think of other options. You take a decision of doing UPSC. The game is not really rewarding. It is a dog eat dog world. It is a dogfight that is really hard to fight in. You take the decision of doing MPSC. You take the decision of doing CAT. You take the decision of going for a job, and within that situation, you think I am stable now. I can give UPSC again, right? Basically, in real life as well, how you take decision, it is basically analysis. It is basically preferential behavior theory, decision making and analysis of decision making. Having decision making, if fail what you do, if fail what you do, if fail what you do. Decision making, having alternate plans. The analysis of this is preferential behavioral theories or decision making approach. The approach studies the approach studies personality. The approach study organizations. The approach study environment. Personality, organization, environment, right? And the most prominent theory to analyze behavioral decision making approach or preferential behavioral theories, it is game theory. What is game theory? What is game theory? It assumes it assumes situation to be a game, right? It assumes situation to be a game, and in a particular game, in a particular situation, how do you react to that situation? What decision you take? It is a preferential behavioral theory. It is a theory of preferential behavior. What is preferential behavior? Which which decision is preferred in a particular situation, right? In a particular situation, which decision is preferred, right? In a particular event, which decision is preferred? In a particular situation, which decision is preferred? Which decision should we take? This is basically game theory, right? Which decision we should take? It is basically game theory. Game happens, we go for analysis. A particular analysis can be used for next game, right? Suppose you are playing football, you play FIFA, you play football, you lose a particular game, or why go that far? You are answer writing, right? It's a prelim season, so I will stick to prelims. So you have given one mock, you get decent marks. You want to increase more marks, you do analysis. You see where I'm wrong, where I'm right, where my decisions went right, where my decisions are went wrong. You want to continue what you are doing right. You want to minimize what you are doing wrong, right? The game of prelims paper, you try to get better at it, and you do analysis, right? Post decisional event analysis. You try to learn from your mistake so that in the next mock you will do better. This is game theory, right? In every aspect of life, in every aspect of life where there is decision making, game theory can be applied to it. What is game? Game is basically taking decisions, understanding where you are wrong, and try not to do that mistake over and over again. right? Application of this game theory, the decisional analysis to international national relations, how that happens, right? Application to international politics. First, game theory assumes that international politics is a game, and it is a game of strategy. It is a IP is a game of strategies, right? When it is a game of strategy, you can safely assume that there are actors, there are players playing, and all players are rational. They are playing to win, right? And when there is a game, there is going to be a result. You give prelims paper, there is a result, right? Every game has payoff. Every game has outcome, right? Every game has outcome. If you remember realism, what is realism, right? It is a practical approach to international relations. This is just practical approach to international relations.